welcome to 6.4 day 2. Today we're going to talk about transformations. Again, your essential question says, how does the equation of a function affect the graph? You probably have this table in your notes already from before our very long break. But if you don't, I would copy this down into your notes. Essentially, it tells you how things move. If we have a plus k on the back, I'm going to go ahead and talk. If you need to pause and write this down and then press play and listen, that is probably a good idea. So if you have plus k on the end, that moves something up k. If you have a minus k, it moves it down k. Inside the parentheses, if you have a plus h, it moves it left h. Remember, for the h's, this is where you sort of flip the sign and does the opposite of what you would expect it to. So if it's a negative, it's going to move it in a positive direction. If it's a positive, it's going to move it in a negative direction. And then for minus h, I didn't want to color over that, I wanted my highlighter. For minus h, it moves it right h. And then for a, we have a couple of options. If your a value is smaller than 0, then your graph is going to flip across the x-axis. If a is bigger than 0, it's stretched. And then if a is bigger than 1, it's stretched. And then if a is between 0 and 1, then it's compressed. So essentially the last one, if you have a fraction that's bigger than 0 but smaller than 1, it will be compressed, or decimal. All right, we're going to talk about how these move. The first thing I notice for my first one is that we have that 2 out front. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can actually have some space to write, and then we'll go about it. So for the first one, we have that 2 out front. That tells me it's stretched by a factor of 2. So I'm just going to say stretched by 2. On the end, notice we have minus 6 outside of parentheses. This x right now is contained by itself. So that tells me that my graph goes down 6. So again, your number on the end tells you if it goes up or down. The number up front tells you if it's stretched or flipped or compressed. All right, let's find our second problem. The second one, it's being weird. We have y equals 1/2 the natural log of x minus 9. So that's 0.5 out front. Again, that's our a value. And a is between 0 and 1. So that tells me that it is compressed. The next thing I notice is inside the parentheses, we have our h value, which is negative 9. So the negative 9 tells me that it's going to go 9 in the positive direction. Remember, this is the one where you change the value. So this is going to move 9 to the right. And those are all of your transformations for number 2. All right, we're going to find number 3 here. I'm sorry, I wish this didn't do this quite like it does, but it does, so here we are. We have y equals negative 3 log of x plus 1 plus 4. So this one's going to have quite a few transformations. The first thing I notice is that we have a negative 3. Now remember, the negative tells me that it flips. The 3, since it's bigger than 1, tells me it's stretched. And then inside my parentheses, which is my h value, we have a positive 1. So the positive 1 tells me it goes 1 in the negative direction, so that's going to be to the left. And then we have a plus 4 on the end. That's our k value. Remember, that one tells me up or down. So the 4 tells me it goes up 4. Again, that one had 4 things that happened to our graph. It flipped, it stretched, it moved 1 to the left, and then it moved up 4. All right, in our last one, we have y equals natural log of x minus 3 minus 1. I notice we have a number inside. That's our h value. So we have a negative 3. Remember, that tells me it goes 3 in the positive direction, so it's going to go 3 to the right. You have a -1 on the end, that's your K value, that tells you up or down, and -1 tells me it's going to go down 1. All right, that is all I have for you for day 2. You can go ahead and answer your little quiz questions about the notes, and then move on to your homework for today. Thank you for watching.